Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Money Hungry Mama. I am so excited because tonight we have Dana with us. Dana, tell us everything.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dana Warncke. I am one of the owners of Little Dreamers Play Cafe located in Wall. My husband is my partner. We will be 10 in June, which is super exciting. We opened Little Dreamers when the idea came about when my oldest was 1 and I was pregnant with my second. And, we were away in Florida. I saw this concept. I was like, this is pretty cool. Their space was geared up to 12 years old. And I just was like, we need to do something like this. So good for us. We did it. We jumped all in 10 years, and it has been a roller coaster of a ride. So I'll give you a little bit more info about me before I go into Little Dreamers. But yes, I'm a mom of 4. I have almost 12-year-old, almost 10, and then I have a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. So I have Skylar, Charlie, both girls. Cole's my son, who's 7, and then Baby Bree, as everyone knows her. She is 3. Not only do I own Little Dreamers, I also work full-time as a teacher. Some people don't know that, but I am a health and phys ed teacher in Manasquan. I teach kindergarten to 12th grade. So all over there, and I coach cheering at the high school there. So I wear a lot of hats: business owner, mom, coach, and teacher. But yeah, so that's just a little bit about me. I love the party planning concept of Little Dreamers, which I guess we'll touch base too about throughout this whole time.
Oh my goodness. I remember talking with you and that you were on maternity leave from being a teacher. And I just, in my mind, was like, oh, it's done. Like, she's done with teaching. And here you are, still teaching, still coaching, running a full-time business. How do you do it all?
My husband's awesome. I rely a lot on him, and we have some staff, not a ton, but they're awesome. And when I need that like extra little bit of hands, they're always there. But for the most part, it's just John and I running the show. I'm like, we got to drop a kid off here at 6 o'clock, and I need to be here, so you need to do this. It's a lot of planning, a lot of calendars, but us moms, we managed to figure out how to do it all.
I know, don't we? Honestly. I love Little Dreamers. It is the cutest cafe. For anybody who's listening that has not seen it, it is absolutely adorable. You can do birthday parties. My daughter and I actually met Elsa there. It was quite an event. We got to make an ornament. It was really cute. They have so many different characters that come in. It's just a really fun event space. For sure. I definitely think you guys do that so, so well. In the beginning stages of building your business, what did that look like? Funding, finding a space, marketing? I mean, you were, like you said, you were a teacher. You were pregnant with your second. How did that all work?
We really had no idea what we were doing. We just loved the concept. John's father had passed away, and we inherited a little bit of money, and we were like, you know what, let's take this money and start a business. It kind of like happened around the same time, so we were like, I think it's just sent to us. Like, we just need to do this. We saw this idea. Let's run with it. No idea what we were doing. We found our original space was in Wall. Our rent was insane. We were bartending, waitressing.
Oh my God.
I was part-time teaching. Had the 2 little ones just to make rent there, but we loved what we were doing. But it got to the point they wanted a lot of money, and we were already paying thousands of dollars, and they wanted closer to 10,000, and we're like, we're not even profiting at this point. We were like taking a loss. So we closed our doors in 2019. I think it was May. But a month or 2 later, Good Sports reached out and was like, we have a space. What our only issue is, you guys can only be in here for 9 months because of camp uses this space. And we're like, I don't know. Let's see what else is out there. And then we're like, wait, summers are so hard in the Play Cafe business, especially here at the Jersey Shore. Who wants to go inside when we have a beautiful beach? Like, the weather with the Play Cafe is it's got to be not too freezing cold because people don't want to leave, not too rainy, people don't want to drive, and not too beautiful because everyone's outside. So looking at our books, those were the months we struggled the most. And I'm like, why wouldn't we close those 3 months and move in there? And then we actually end up working for them in the summer. And I can still do parties because they use our space. So our business has grown. Our model has like changed. We've definitely like fluctuated so much from the beginning to now.
Wow.
And again, like that concept that we began with was just like come in and play, and we had coffee. We were very big in like the coffee latte. That kind of went away during COVID. We weren't allowed to really serve. There were so many restrictions. We brought it back a little bit this winter. Next year, we'll definitely have more coffee options available. It was just too hard to train our staff mid-busy season. We were just too much going on. Have our preschool and toddler pod drop-offs.
Right.
So on top of the play cafe and the events, we have classes with some teachers going on at the same time, which not everyone knows about because we keep them small, and it's just we've changed so much. But I feel like with this type of industry and being in it for 10 years, we really had to like learn what works. And COVID helped us actually, because once COVID happened, we started adding those classes. That's when we actually started to see a profit in the business, because the Play Cafe doesn't, make that much for open play. There was days we'd have one person walk in the door, but then there'd be days there'd be like 30 people walking in the door now we have everyone pre-register, so we try to limit those numbers, but it's a very different concept that we have now compared to the beginning.
Wow. That is really cool. So you originally started as just kind of like open play, and I'm really loving what I'm hearing that you're
Mm-hmm.
pivoting with the market because I mean, I always did wonder how people survive on just open play, and I'm really glad that you kind of dug into that because I mean, who hasn't, as a mom, honestly, who hasn't thought of opening a place where moms can hang out and the kids can play? And I think this is so cool because, you threw in character events at night for like, I think we went on a Friday night, and then you do birthday parties, you do open play, and now you're also doing classes. And that's really
Mm-hmm.
cool that you found a spot where you don't have to do those struggle months. I mean, now you said that you kind of help out with the camp, but that's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. I feel like everything happens
Yeah.
for a reason, and that was really cool at Good Sport.
It does. I mean, it's still like I love the open play. I really do, and I wish we could be open all day long, but financially, like we
Mm-hmm.
can't. Our kids are older too. They're involved in so many
For
activities.
sure.
To have someone there, it's easier to like structure them in the certain times, to know that there's people coming in the doors. We could be there, or I could schedule someone being there, than having that. We used to be open 9 to 6, and
Yeah.
we'd get hours of no one, or we'd get, one person at 4:30. We'd be there
Hmm.
till 6. It's definitely evolved a lot, and, it's still evolving.
It seems
It's
never
not,
ending. You kind of just like
yeah,
going with the flow. It's just awesome.
yeah.
And I also think like your teaching mentality goes a lot into that because as teachers, like every single year you have a new round of kids. You always have to change how you're teaching. You have to fit everybody's mold. And I feel like you're bringing that into your business because
Mhm.
every single year that's all changing and you're kind of like changing as you're growing and as the times are changing. That's really cool. Now, how did you build your community around your cafe, both online and locally? Like, how did you start spreading the word out to get known?
Yeah, I would say that my husband would walk around before we open to any mom with a kid, and I'm like, "What are you doing? You seem so weird." And he's like, "We're opening up a play cafe in Wall. You have to come. Here's all the info." And I'm like, "Okay, well." Everyone looks at him like they're crazy, but they're showing up, so I guess he's like he knows what he's doing. But I would say like the mommy groups really have helped, especially when we first opened. There were so many different mommy groups out there, moms of multiples,
Mhm.
Jersey Shore moms, all these different groups. And we kind of, people were coming in, they're like, "Oh, you need to post here. You need to do this." So really our customers
That's
helped
awesome.
bring like me to all of these different, resources of moms to meet and connect with and really push our business. We've done some advertising, but I really think word of mouth, really has helped. And Instagram has been great. I feel like doing all the posts on there, but definitely I feel like our moms have helped, bring us our customers and just really promoted us. And it's pretty neat now, like teaching local. Like I see some of these babies that used to
Oh.
come in, like, and they're growing up and in middle school. And I'm like, "Oh my God, you used to come to Little Dreamers when you were like 1 years old." And they're like, "Who are you? Like, what are you talking? What's Little Dreamers?" I'm like, I probably have a picture of you on my phone. I'm like, "Okay, I gotta stop."
Yeah.
But I have a weird memory of all that stuff. So, it's definitely nice to be local and live around here too, and see all of the families
Oh.
that, are at the park. And some of them don't even know we're out there. And I'm like, you have to come play with your little one. And they're like, where is this? I'm like, right here in Wall. It's crazy. So, I don't know. Just getting that word out. I feel like opening up and talking to whoever's around.
I love it.
So,
And how did
yeah.
you guys have like the cutest things inside your store? How did you go about finding like the different things to put in your store?
Right. There's so many different. So every time we reopen, I try to, and I don't know if you've noticed
I
this,
did.
like set it up a little differently, and
Mhm.
I do it throughout the year too because I'm always moving toys around, replacing stuff. The houses that are newer, like our little shops, I should say, the hospital, the bakery, and the grocery market are from a company called Lilliput, and they have beautiful products. I'm friendly with the owner of Princeton Play Space. She has like a whole storefront in her cafe, and her buildings are beautiful. They're two-story. Ours, when they're in the cafe, are not two-story. We have the tops, but they don't fit in there. So in the summer, when they convert to the turf area that we use for birthday parties, they do have those two stories. So those are Lilliput. The fire truck is made from an Amish company. That they come out every year, actually in September and June, take down all of those houses and move them to the area that we need them in and build
Wow.
them. They're an amazing company. Like, I've never
Wow.
seen guys work so hard and do the work that they do. Because if it was John building it, it would take like days, And I'm like, oh my God, they just did that in 2 hours. They're amazing and they're so awesome to work with. So we actually still have them come out and help transition the space. And then our like cedarwork slide is another, like I feel like Play Cafe, you have to have a cedarwork slide. And then our train table was, I don't know if you remember the train table, like
Yeah.
that was in there because I know with the girls sometimes they like to dress up. That was like there's a funny story to our train table. So for years we had a train table, the ones that you buy off Amazon,
Hmm.
they're not put together. They're just like tracks on a table. Put it out in the playroom and within the first kid playing there, the tracks were in every corner, every room. We tried screwing, we tried drilling them down, we tried gluing them down. No matter what, they'd be like ripped off the table, right? John had walked that train table out the play cafe, I think like 10 times. Finally, like, we're done. It's gone. No more train
Oh
table.
no.
And every kid loves the train table. So, again, my friend that owns Prince and Play Space has a huge one. And when we'd go visit, I'm like, I love this. I want this. Where did you get this? And I can't think off the top of my head, in New Jersey, train store for like the model trains. He builds, though, for like museums, play spaces,
How
custom
cool.
train tables. So during COVID, they did not charge us rent at Good Sports. They were so awesome. And
That's
we took some
amazing.
of like the money that we got and I was like, let's invest in a train table because that is like what every little boy, even the girls like to play with, but like,
Yeah.
they just are drawn to that. And the pieces have stayed on since we got it. And it is like one of everyone's favorites.
It's
Like
really
right, we
cute.
go right to it. So that is like one of our really special pieces. When we use it at camp, I'm like, no one's allowed to mess with my train table. I check on it every day. I was like, we've been dreaming about this piece for a very long time. But yeah, all the other things, are just really from all over. I've ordered off Instagram, like some cute little businesses in our country,
I
some
love it.
IKEA pieces are in there. So,
I
anything that looks
It really does though. Like when you go in, it's just such a cute space and you definitely do always move things around. We went there
cute.
last time and you had this like blower where
Oh, yes.
you have like what are those
Scarves.
called? Like yeah, like little scarves and they were able to
It's
put
like
them
a
in the
wind tunnel,
blower.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was really cute.
that's a new piece that we got this year. Kodo Kids, I think it's called. But they have some really awesome, like Montessori wooden stuff. They're
Oh, that's
very,
awesome.
like, expensive, but I think just they're different pieces. And I kind of started adding more of that in there just to make us a little more unique and not so much, I really like
Me
that
too.
Montessori wooden feel in there with imagination. So trying to keep that and just think a little outside of the box, what we don't have, you
You
know.
do so great. Like you said, you do like all these different things. What is your personal favorite? that you do?
Parties and events are definitely my favorite thing. Events I love, just coming up with, okay, we got to do a cute craft. We got to get some cute, like, nice food. We always end up going with pizza, but in my mind, I'm like, we're going to do this. And I'm like, no kid's going to eat this, so we got to go with pizza.
Yeah.
And then working with a lot of different local companies for the characters. Again, that a lot of them are like mom owned, local, really try to like keep it in our area. Definitely love the birthday parties. I love someone give me a theme and I run with it. I also am like trying to start another little side business, which isn't like out there yet, more about party planning and stuff like
Okay.
that. My plan was spring break, get that done, but I also had a lot of laundry to fold this spring break. So I did not get to that yet, but just a little more of, I think, parties are definitely a huge part of our business.
Mhm.
We really get a ton. Our pricing, I think, is great. It does have to
It
go a
is.
little bit up next year because our rent's going up, but I want to keep it affordable so everyone can have a party
Love that.
because I think kids' birthday parties are just so special. So I want to just, keep going with that because I really get a lot of people coming back because they're just like, it was so easy. You do such a nice job. Can my daughter have her third, fourth, fifth birthday with you
Oh,
again? And like, it happens. Like, I've celebrated, a lot of birthdays with the same people and I just love that. I just want to make everyone's day so special. And so my new little concept that I'm doing is just that plus, helping people create their special day and, still doing little dreamers, but a
I'm
little
so
side thing,
intrigued. A side
add to my chaos.
coach,
More,
teacher.
more John to-do list.
Goodness, now you have another little side planning event. I
Yeah.
love it. You're such a little
Hmm.
hustler. I love it. That's totally, oh my gosh, I love it. So, this new business venture that you're doing, you're going to be more
Hmm.
party planning outside of Little Dreamers, like helping
Yeah.
people do like at home parties.
And rentals and stuff like
Cool.
that. So it's still, I'm probably going to be working with either like a silent partner or someone who's
Hmm.
like funding it, and then I'll, pay them back, or if they're, I don't know if they're going to say, like, there's still a little bit of that
Yeah.
area I'm trying to figure out. But he loves what I do. And he's like, I love your idea and I think we should do it. So I was like, okay. And then I'm
Yay!
like, okay, now I really got to plan all this because he's on board and I wasn't expecting like the yes right away. I thought I was gonna have to like plan it and go to him, and then he was like, "No, you're so good at this. Like it makes sense." And I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
sure."
That
But
is awesome.
yeah, I
How
just
exciting.
love birthday parties and just making like the vision
Mhm.
come to life. So that's what I think we're just gonna add on.
Honestly
So
feel like when you're chasing your
yeah.
passion, it just makes things
Mhm.
like 10 times better. And clearly, you don't even mind putting more on your plate because you like it so much.
I really do. And like just kids in general, like I love being part of kids' life. Like I said, teaching all these different levels is so interesting. I really teach kindergarten, first, second, fourth, seventh, eighth, and seniors. I have like every
Insane.
age. And I just think it's so special just watching them grow and, I just want to make, I don't know.
You're so sweet.
I don't know.
I love it. It makes your heart happy. That's all that
Yeah.
matters. That's so sweet. So I have a question for you. I know it's like very in person most of the time, but is there any passive income coming in for you with this business, or is strictly everything in person?
Like, what do you mean? Are we making money?
Oh no, well
No,
like
we're like, what do you mean? Like passive?
passive, like something that you only had to do one time and then you just keep getting money from it. Like maybe you have like a digital product that you did and people
Yeah.
keep buying, things like that. Or is your sole business,
Yeah. So I
in-person
would say
events?
like our income I don't really have anything out there that, we're keep getting payments from.
Mm-hmm.
Our tuition for school, I guess, our pods is something that like we rely on because we can kind of like know what's coming in
Mm-hmm.
and not stress like we did with the play cafe part. Like we were like, oh my God, we really need this many people to walk in the door to make our
Yeah.
rent, you know. Um, having and we love our school. They are like the cutest little ones ever and it's so play based and they are learning and we've been doing this since, 2018 did we go back to school 2020? Yeah, so since 2020, we used to do the virtual learning with the preschoolers if they needed it too. But again, that's evolved. And then we had the preschool class, and now we have the toddlers. And they're just like our little family. And that has really helped, us a lot because
Good.
relying on that walk in the door to come and play every day was just so hard and stressful. Like the unknown, like
100%.
same thing with why I kept my teaching. I love teaching, but we really had to keep that income to know, like, okay, well, that will definitely cover our home bills
Yeah.
because those aren't going away. And not like just relying on that, we tried me not teaching for a couple of years, and it was just too hard. Like
Yeah.
it was not really manageable, too stressful. We were waitressing again and bartending. I'm like, I can just, work when the kids are at school and come here and still do the parties and stuff on weekend. And I was previously like working parties and running to waitress. And
Yeah.
like that, and getting home at 1 in the morning and waking up and doing it again. I was like, this is not working. So,
Yeah.
but that has definitely helped with the, profit part of it.
For
So,
sure, for sure, because you have that stability, and now it's like, Little Dreamers is that extra, like that fun,
mhm.
you know? How has this business changed your life and your family's life?
There's a lot it's changed. I think just coming from, I don't really, I have a brother, but not many of my friends had kids when John and I started having kids. So it helped us kind of like, have those people to rely on and like learn from. Like, is this normal? My kid's doing this. Like, I didn't have anyone I could like ask those questions to. My mom passed when
I'm
I was 19, and then both John's parents passed. So I feel like it really gave us family that we were kind of not having. So we say everyone is part of our family. Like you walk through our doors, like you're our family. You know what I mean? Like we don't have that. So we really like look at this as our baby. Little Dreamers is
Yeah.
our other baby, and you guys coming in are being part of our family. My kids have made so many friends throughout the years, and it's still like again so neat. Like we have pictures, we'll like meet a new family. Like my girls do competitive cheer. Oh my god, I used to bring my kids to Little Dreamers when we were little. Look at this picture of them playing there, and it's like my girls and her daughter playing, and I'm like,
Oh,
oh my gosh. And now our worlds are like colliding again, even though we haven't seen each other in years. Now they're on a team together cheering. It's so neat, that aspect of it. And also like another great part of being in good sports is we're seeing these kids who are involved in sports grow up as well, so they get to come in, whether it's camp or lacrosse or soccer. Like a
mhm.
lot of them are there on weekends or at nights playing some type of sport, and we get to see these families even longer than we would have at our old location. It was like they would turn 5 and we really wouldn't see them again, and now we like still get to see everyone. They're going to birthday parties or whatever, walking through the doors of good sports. So that's like another part of being there that we love.
Yeah, you guys built your own community. That is so sweet. I had chills when you said that. That's so amazing. It's like Cheers, everybody's family. When you come in,
Everyone's
everybody knows your
family.
name. I
Yeah.
love gosh, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. What's one thing you wish more people understood about running a small mom-owned business?
I think like our hours, people give us a very hard time on, and I take everything so personal, or if I don't
Get
get
it?
back to them right away. Like Instagram, everyone's reaching out from a different way, whether it's email, Instagram, Facebook, my cell phone. And sometimes Instagram like marks it as read and I did not read it, and like I just don't even see it. So I think that people aren't very patient for that. Like I can't afford or don't have anyone to
Yeah,
manage that for me. It's really me doing all of that behind the scenes.
for sure.
Sometimes emails go to spam, and like I'm sorry. I don't know how to get them not to go to spam. And like I feel like I wish I could get that out there more. Like it hurts if I like am not answering you and you're getting frustrated.
Yeah.
And like our hours of our business, people get a little frustrated with. We've tried to do afternoon classes. No one signs up. Like we've tried, and we've done the open place in the afternoon when the weather's cold and not
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's very hard to, after being in 10 years, like we know what works and doesn't work. And I feel like sometimes people can give you like some not nice advice on like, oh, your website sucks. I'm like, okay, thank you. Like I'm trying, but I'm doing as best as I can in
Mm-hmm.
my position. We don't make a huge profit. So like it is what it is. Like you got me. You know, like I wish I could have someone like answering my emails and doing all of that, but it doesn't. I can't, and I'm trying. And I think just people realizing like we really do care. And we really want to make it work for everyone, but also we've done this for a long time and we know what works for
Yeah,
our business, you know, and
exactly.
I'm sorry if like you want a nighttime play, but when it's one person coming to play, like,
It's a lot more to keep
that's very
open.
hard. Yeah.
For
And
sure.
weekends, birthday parties are what keep us, that's like where the profit would be. And, if we book six, like I try not to at least once a weekend, but I'm going to take parties because, again, that's that consistency. You know what you're going to make
For
over like
sure.
doing an open play for three or four families. It's just,
Yeah.
we have a family that we have to,
A
make
hundred
sure that they're getting
percent.
taken care of.
A hundred
So,
percent. And I just want to like say, I mean, I have known you for years. I've known your business for years. I think
mhm,
you run it beautifully. I do think that you
mhm,
are just like this warm-hearted, wonderful person. Every single time I've ever spoken to you, I remember your husband coming
mhm.
to pick something up from my house, and I don't even think you knew it was my house, but you heard my voice and you're like, Brittany. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I'm like, you
Uh-huh.
are so good. Like, you're so good at that human interaction, remembering who you're talking to. And that's why I think it matters and it means so much to you as you're watching these kids grow up, because I feel like you're definitely like the type of person, every single person you meet, like, leaves a little stamp on you. And I think that's beautiful. I
I love
love,
that. That's a great way to put it. A little stamp on me. You all leave
yeah,
a stamp on me. They do.
I love
Every kid
it.
and every adult. Like, I really love people. And again, that might be part of my teaching and my
Yeah,
waitressing backgrounds. Like,
for sure.
I could sit and talk for hours. I'm probably talking too long to your questions. Just
No,
that's who
you are not. I
I
love
am.
this.
But, I just really like think I love that interaction and I love like making everyone should feel special and I really do care about anyone who would walk into our business
It's
and
beautiful.
be part of our family.
I love it. I really do. And she's so genuine when she says this. Like, I really mean what I say.
Aw.
Okay. So, what does being a money hungry mama mean to you?
Me hungry mama.
Mhm.
So, this mama wants to make sure that I can give my kids what they need, right? And what they want, right? My drive to make sure like our family is provided for is kind of crazy. Like
Love
sometimes
it.
John's like, "Can you relax for a day?" Like even when I'm sitting at home, I'm like, "Okay, what can we do now?" And he's like, "Can you just relax and watch a show with me?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." And then I'm like on my phone 5 minutes later. It drives him crazy. I'm like, "We have to add like a couple more events and classes." And oh my God, look how cute this sounds. And, I really want to make sure I give my kids what they need. And, my girls do competitive cheer. If anyone's in that world yet, it's not very cheap. Well, any sports I feel like kids do
Yeah.
anymore. That could probably be a whole podcast
Yeah.
for you. It's just like crazy. But like my goal is to be able to let them do those
Hmm.
things. And growing up, I didn't really have that. And my mom, I should say parents tried, but there was a lot of times I was told no, which obviously my kids are told no, but I want to make sure like if they really want to do something, I can make sure like they can have that happen. Also, like, I never really got to go on vacations growing up. We just didn't have that
Yeah.
extra money. My mom was also sick my whole life. I just want to make sure they have like an enjoyable childhood and make memories and be able to go. We don't go away a lot, but once a year we're going away to Disney. I hope because I'm a big Disney person.
Love it.
But we don't always get there. But like that would be my end goal. You know what I mean? One
Hmm.
trip a year for us to go make memories.
Beautiful.
But and the hungry mama, I mean, maybe get my hair done every once in a while. I need a little Botox. I don't know. But that's always in the back. Mom's always last in this house, unfortunately,
I think it's most houses.
I know. So, but I just want to like I said, give them if they want to go on a rainy day and go to Target and pick out some makeup, or really they want Sephora now. I shouldn't say Target, but are we there? We're not there for those little things, but like my goal is that, and
And
I want them to also see like they have to work to, I
yes.
think they're understanding watching me how hard I work. They're like, what happens in like the end? So what's all this hard work get for you.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's important for them too. And I do get that from my dad. He never has stopped working. He's retired. He always had like three jobs, and I feel like I do get that from him.
Hmm.
But I also think like the kids see that and that that's important that, you know,
Yeah.
I I have that drive
Yeah, the
to.
drive to chase your dream too. Like this event thing is basically something that's on your heart to do. So that's incredible. Like you're
Mhm,
showing them that you could literally do whatever you want. Like you opened up a
mhm,
kids play place. That's doing something completely outside the box and taking a massive
mhm,
risk on a dream for yourself, which I think is incredible to show them. I think that's great. Love
mhm.
that. Okay, what's a piece of advice someone would normally have to pay for that wants to get into this business, but you're willing to give for free?
So I'm thinking about this one. There's so much advice. I think one thing that people go into this think it's a huge money making business.
Hmm.
And I think we thought it would be too, not
Hmm.
realizing how risky it is, right? So I think finding like something that you're going to offer that might make it a little different because that open play is not going to like fund it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's in an I'm doing it wrong for the 10 years, it never really made enough to pay all of the bills. And there are a lot of bills that go into this that people don't realize. You know, there's your insurance and paying the staff. There is like we just had to pay a ton more in insurance because they audited like it stuff I didn't even know and that
Yeah.
we're not business owners so we didn't realize
Hmm.
but the stuff that happens that you have to pay for that are like unexpected, you know, things like
Yeah.
that. But I really think someone you have to find something, and ours is probably like our events and our pods
Hmm.
that really like make us a little different. And our parties, you know, those are like three little things that help us. But I feel like you really have to focus. I know open play sounds great,
Hmm.
but think about what you're charging $20. How many people do you need to walk through that door to cover your rent? It's pretty high.
For
So
sure.
figure out where that little special spot is and what you're going to offer to your community that they want that
Yeah.
and that is what will make your business special. So,
I think that's great advice. Like to think of something else besides open play. And maybe that's where, like for you, you leaned heavily
mhm,
on something that you really wanted to do, which was events. And maybe
mhm,
for somebody listening, maybe it's doing different kind of crafts. And maybe it's even
mhm,
having hosting moms nights where their moms are
right,
making a craft. Like motherhood, especially in towns where you don't really know everybody, can get pretty
mhm.
lonely. And I think it would be really cool. And even if you want to do this, I think this would be cool
Yeah, let's do it. I
to
love
do
that.
like like a
Uh-huh.
wine and craft, like how
Mhm.
a couple years ago I went to one of those like board paintings, like where you made like a
Right.
wood. I thought that was really fun, but I think that that would be a really cool experience too. Like maybe your business, whoever's listening, might be focusing on having cool mom events at night, or
Mhm.
make your own. I think it would be really cool to learn how to make like cold foam in your own coffee because so many people
Right.
are doing like crazy things on TikTok. I think that'd be really fun to
Oh,
learn.
I
Here I am.
know.
This is like me. I just start spewing. I'm like, this
Yeah,
is
I
cool
mean, so on
ideas.
TikTok, we can come up with like a whole different little concept,
Yeah.
probably, right? I'm like, wait, what is that? That's so cool,
Yeah.
right?
How did you make that?
Uh-huh. That's like, yeah. I mean, that's definitely, I feel like, and that another good thing about being able to close for the summer, it really lets us kind of refocus and be
Hmm.
like, all right, what do we want to focus on next year? This year, we really focused on our pods and we really like put a lot into them.
Yeah.
Uh, and they're going very well, and our staff is amazing, and our teachers are amazing. And I really think like we put our energy in there. And then next year, when we come back, I'm like, we're going to focus again on the open play and the coffee and the snacks and all of that, which we kind of had to get rid of again because of
Yeah.
COVID. We were just renting the space for
For
$50 an
sure.
hour. So I don't even remember what we were charging. You know, that is going to have to come back around and we really have to figure out what we want to do. Are we going to do memberships again? Are we going to do punch cards again? We used to do Grandparents' Day where they got a little discount and our place would be filled with grandmas and
How
grandpas and
sweet.
they loved it. So I'm like, maybe we need to have those special days again,
Yeah.
but I really think like owning this, like you have to just be creative and just
For
keep that going and expect. be there all day and working 24 hours checking your email and being, getting messages everywhere. Again, that's just working mama. It doesn't stop.
I honestly, I think my key takeaways for anybody listening is if you can find a space where you don't have to rent in the summer, I think that may be golden. I think that was something that
Golden.
people really don't think about when they open these things up. But like you said
Mhm.
it so beautifully, like we do live by the Jersey Shore, and whenever it's nice out, even if you don't live by the shore, I feel like everybody just wants to be outside. So I think like that is one of my biggest takeaways. Another one is you dropped so many great places to find really cute things, which thank you for that. That was so incredible. And to find, you still need a niche. Everybody always talks about this niche situation, but it's so true. Like, what do you want to be known for in this business? And you kind of want to tweak it. And the cool thing is, it could be literally anything you want. Like, I love that you're like, oh, I get to plan all summer about something new for next year. Like, it excites my
Mhm.
ADHD brain. I'm like, that is so cool. Like, you get
Right?
to do whatever you want. Like, that's really
Mhm.
cool. I love
Yeah.
that.
I know. And it's just like a nice, because I feel like we stressed so much in the summer. Like, how are we going to do this? Like,
Yeah.
where are we getting all these, how are we getting people to come in? And it kind of is just like, okay, we got this. Here we go. Like, September, here we come. And it's really like the quickest transition.
For sure.
Danny, the owner of Good Sports, he is like amazing and he's a very big planner. And he's like, all right, they're coming out this day. They're going to switch it out. And by Wednesday, the Play Cafe will be up and you guys are good. And then all the guys that work there are so helpful. They're unloading the trailer, bringing everything in. They're like, where do you want this? I kind of feel like so special. I'm like, I want it there and there and there. I'm like, this is great. As I'm like drinking a water. No, just kidding. There's a lot of sweat that day and stress. But it is definitely like a nice little thing that we have. And I'm in a groups of Play Cafe owners. And when they found out I was 9 months, they're like, "How do you do this? This is like you're so lucky." I'm like, "It just worked that way. Find a
Yeah.
indoor arena and see if they have a space that they do camp in. I don't know, but it has definitely that has helped us so much.
Yeah.
Just being able to not stress about those 3 warm, beautiful months.
That's incredible. Honestly, blessing. That is a blessing.
Blessing. No, it is a blessing.
So, where can our listeners connect with you, follow along, or even come visit Little Dreamers?
Yeah, so definitely follow Instagram. I post like a weekly schedule on there. I try to get out a monthly calendar as well. Sometimes it's better to do the weekly because monthly, like so much is changed. Like
Hmm.
parties are being added, plays are changing because, this class didn't really fill. If I have like a mess maker class or a music class and no one really signed up, we might cancel it. So I love the monthly calendar, but I feel like it's so permanent that it
Yeah.
makes me like a little anxious. I like the weekly, and I feel like people, they don't want to sign up too far in advance.
Hmm.
It's here, this is what's going on for the week. Here's our open play. Here's our classes. Here are the themes. But everything's always on Instagram. I'm always doing, our party pictures on there. Our events are always on there.
And what's your handle?
Little Dreamers Play Cafe. Should be, I think. I should
Perfect.
know that, but I'm almost positive it is. As I'm listening to feet come towards my door, that's kind of why I'm like doing a little
They're
side eye
coming.
right now.
The kids are finding you.
They're all hidden in my house right now, playing something. No, I'm kidding. They're all two are together, one's downstairs, and I can't believe I made it 42 minutes without someone needing me. It's
Honestly, those kids
amazing.
deserve like ice cream or
I
something,
think
some
they do.
sweet treat for
I
doing
think
all
they
that.
do. Yeah, so everything's on there. We do have a website, littledreamersplaycafe.com. We have Facebook. I just feel like Instagram, is user friendly where you can just post it
Hmm.
quick. I always do the stories with the link. We
Perfect.
use Sawyer for registration for everything. I know some people are familiar with that. Some people it's a little confusing. But that way we just kind of can track who's coming in and we limit those numbers. So,
Okay.
we're not previously we would have like 30 people in there at a time. No one wants like that's crazy to think about pre-COVID. I'm like, how do we do that? Like, we'd be turning people away. I can't imagine doing that. We really do like to be able to like kind of control the number so everyone's comfortable in there. And, you can always reach out if you're having a problem registering or, I didn't get into this event. Is there a cancellation? Probably there is. So, just message us. I will definitely find a way to get you into something that you want to get into.
That is so great to know. There was a couple that I looked at, like I think you had Bluey there once, and I was like, oh my
Hmm.
gosh, Lukey loves Bluey, and you were like booked up, and I was like, oh man, I didn't jump on it
Yeah,
fast enough. I should have just messaged.
I try to leave a couple lower numbers so I can bring people in case they're like forget and a friend gets in. I've learned to kind of like don't put it at full. So if a friend gets in, someone else isn't, But that's just me because I just have learned that, people don't get to it in time. And like if you're going to the event with a friend, I want to make sure you can go. So,
That's so sweet.
and I'm trying to think anything else. We're open till we move out after Labor Day.
So fun.
It is a slow time for us, so any support we get right now is like huge because
You got it.
that last, even April we've had such a rough winter. I'm
Hmm.
like these next couple weeks will probably be rough for us. So if you can visit, once over the month, that'd be great.
For sure.
And we'll do like a big birthday celebration before we close for the summer. Usually an Elsa or I don't know. Bluey's so big. Maybe Bluey will come. Maybe
Gotta
we'll do
love the
something every
characters.
night because who doesn't love to party? You
Yeah,
know.
that is awesome. That is awesome. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. And everybody listening, this is Little Dreamers in Wall, New Jersey. So if anybody is near that area
Yeah.
that wants to come check it out, come by. We would love to see it. Dana, thank you
Yes. Thank
so
you.
much for being
Thank
on the
you.
show today
And
and
I
all your
love
tips.
like your family coming in. You reached out. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never done this before. I hate seeing myself on camera. I hate my voice, but you know what? I feel so comfortable doing it with you, and I'm like, I love it. So your
Thank
kids,
you.
I've watched them grow at the pool,
Yeah,
at camp, at the play cafe.
I love it.
So you're the best. I love it. I
Oh
love
my
what you're doing
gosh.
for all the moms.
Thank you so much. And honestly, thank you so much for being here. You are just a ray of sunshine. And I am so lucky that you said yes. And we're able to give so many tips and tricks for anybody that is thinking about being in the kid play cafe space. So thank you so much, Dana. And we will see you and talk to you hopefully again soon. Bye.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.